Hi everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I want to share with you how to create this one layer card with die cut dimension. So the first thing I did was I started in Photoshop Elements because I'm using the Take Flight digital stamp from Craft and Desert Divas. I took that image and I took that sentiment in the set and I put them on a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch blank project. I went ahead and printed off that panel with my laser printer, and then I trimmed out the entire thing to an A2 sized card panel. So once I had that all trimmed out, I went ahead and brought out my alcohol markers, and this isn't going to be a whole lot of coloring here. It's very simple coloring, and I'm using the mood board from Craft and Desert Divas monthly social media challenge as kind of my palette for all of my color choices here. I went ahead and just colored in the little lamb with some pinks and some creams just to give that for a little bit of color. Then I will bring up some kind of periwinkles and really light purples into that kite that the little lamb is hanging on to. Now to color in this fur, you can see I am adding just little, almost half circular motions here and there just to make it appear as if the fur has a little bit of texture in it. And that's just a way to get texture without it adding any more dimension to this card. So you can see here, for this little kite, I'm just using 2 different colors, and then I'll bring in that same pink I used on the lamb just to color in those little tails or those little bows that are on the kite. And then I came back in and gave that little lamb's face and legs one more shade of the pink. So on this card, I also added a little bit of green underneath that lamb with an alcohol marker. I didn't like the way that looked, so I started out with a small border, grass border, and it was just like in an 1.5 inch section across that lamb. I didn't like that either. So I pulled that off. I went ahead and cut some more green cardstock with that grass border die. This is from the Outdoor Landscape 2 die set from Craft and Desert Divas. There's a grass border in there with stitching on it. I just cut that from some green cardstock. I'm going to add some fun foam right on the bottom of this panel that I've created here, and that has double-sided adhesive on both sides, and I just put that right along the bottom edge. Then I can go ahead and line up that grass border die as high as I want to, so it's going to cover up the bottom of the lamb, and where I colored in green with my alcohol marker and I didn't end up liking, I want that covered up as well. So I just put that up as high as it needed to go. Then I'll just use my long blade scissors to go ahead and trim this down so it's flush with all sides of that panel. Now adding that little bit of dimension right there along the border really helps make this card pop a little bit more. And I also wanted to add some dimension to those cloud die cuts that I've created also. Now those are from the Scene Builders die sets, and they have stitching on them as well. The great thing about using these 2 die sets from the same company, which is Craft and Desert Divas, the stitching all matches on these. So I don't have to go and search for different types of stitching. It all looks very coordinated, very nice together because it is that same stitching pattern on all of these die cuts. So I'm just using little bits of fun foam here with more double-sided adhesive on the back, and I'm just putting a little square on the back of each one of these clouds, and I'm just going to pop them up and place them randomly. I have cut 3 of them because I think an odd number of items looks better, or embellishments looks better, and I would consider these my embellishments on this card. So I've put 2 down, and then I like to group 2 of them together just to offset them a little bit. So I'm actually going to put this 3rd one right next to that first one I placed down, and I'm just going to tuck it right underneath that first die cut that I put down too, and that's just going to add a little bit more interest to this really simple card. Now I always make my own card bases, so I've just made a A2 top folding white card base here. I've put double-sided adhesive on the back of that panel that I've colored up, and I'm just going to place this entire panel right on top of that card base that I made, making sure to line it up really well because this is strong adhesive I'm using and it doesn't allow for any mistakes or for me to pull it up. But once I had that in place, that finished off today's card. It was very simple, and I hope you guys enjoyed this really short video tutorial. As always, I will leave you with a few pictures of the finished card. So on the left hand side, you'll notice a few different things you can click on. The top one will take you to another video that you might enjoy watching next. In the bottom right, you'll see my logo, and that will subscribe you to my channel so you won't miss any of my new uploads. And then in the bottom left hand corner, that will take you to this blog post that will give you the entire supply list for this card. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and happy crafting!